Hey there, coming at you today with another comic. What are we looking at, Adam? Well, we're looking at a comic. It was released last year in a English edition. I don't know when the original edition came out, which I believe was in Finnish. I thought I thought the author Tommi Musturi. I kind of thought he was Japanese based on the sound of his name. And years ago, I read one of his other books. I'm blanking on the name though right now, and I'm not going to look it up. But I enjoyed it, and so I kind of when I saw his name again, I saw this book. This book, by the way, is enormous. It's like 200 and almost 300 pages, and it's very dense. Well, not all of it's dense. Like some of it's like just like this, where you can breeze right through it. But I love his sense of design. His illustrations and cartooning are wonderful, and he does a lot of different looks. Like obviously, this is very different from this. So he does kind of rampage through different styles in this book. I kind of like this style though the most. I think is more just kind of clean, clean thick lines and uh, yeah. But he does use a variety of styles. But yeah, like then there's stuff like this where he's kind of doing these little comic strips, vignettes, homage. This kind of like peanuts on the bottom, but very dense. Like you see, like there's pages where there's just so much text, and then there's pages where there's nothing, and it's totally different. I mean, this looks like an anthology of different artists. And as I was going through this, I was like, is there a story to this? Are there characters there? I don't know if I would qualify it as a story. I mean, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just telling you what it is, so that if you're looking for a very clear story. I love this style, by the way. This was very like it almost looks like just noise at first, and then you realize, oh, there's an actual narrative and things are happening, and then it jumps back to a more clear style. So I'm not going to go through every page. I'm going to jump ahead a little. Okay, and then there's this style, and there's kind of a story, but it's not really a story. I just really hesitate to call it that. This is more like a book that you can just pick up and read a few pages here and there and start anywhere and end anywhere. And there's basically it's in the future. That's as the title would indicate. And it's basically a horrible, over-processed corporate, basically the future that he sees we're going towards, and that we're hyper marketed to. Everything's just devouring everything else, and it's dystopia and all kinds of horror and ultra corporate life. This seems almost like I don't know if you've ever been to like an anarchist bookstore. There was one in San Francisco that was pretty well known, but this is the kind of stuff that you would find in there, like this. um, I think this was originally published as 7 issues. I want to say. So these are, I think, the covers. Unless that's just a conceit, and it's actually not like that at all. It was actually just a graphic novel. But either way, like I said, very dense book, and wonderful design, wonderful sense of design. I just wasn't totally like I admit I didn't read every single. This is a Spanish edition, by the way, but I think it's available in at least English and I don't know what else. But I confess that I didn't read every panel and every page because I don't know. Some of it just seems like we've seen this before, and like I didn't feel the need to, but I still liked it as like a book that you will have on your coffee table when you're uh, just need a few pages of something. There's like these fake letter columns, so there's like this uh, looping sort of themes. I think this is kind of like a Tintin style, but obviously, but also we have like peanuts thrown in, and I don't know what it is actually, but so there's these kind of structures that repeat, but again, I wouldn't say there's a solid story that's going somewhere. And if you're looking for a regular plot and development, then this is not your book. I think I say that on a lot of the writers and artists that I look at. Some of it do it more effectively than others, and I appreciated in this book some of the styles more than others. Like I think his main kind of cartoony style, this was my favorite. I just didn't like as much when there was like like fat blocks of text like this. This is where it's just like a protozoa or something that's having thoughts. And I don't know. I don't like to read like huge pages of text like this. So sometimes I would kind of breeze through it. And I appreciated his art more than his stories and writing. But a very interesting and unique book. Very, just like I said, very dense. And I'm not going to go through every page, but I think you get the idea. What was the other book that he wrote that I read? Well, anyways, check it out.